Alright, so my name is Jason and I'm here to respond to the claim that social networking services have several risks which can impact on worsening communication and relationship between people. My opponent's secondary claims were that social networking service impact on mental and personality of people. Social networking service impact people's emotions and became a place where they can feel miserable and unhappy during accepting others' information. Social networking service, and her third one was that social networking service affects people's interpersonal, social, and communications. My response to her first secondary claim was that she said that 2/3 of participants had difficulty to relaxing and sleeping after using social media, which in the source she cited, it only says that the people they studied were only 600 people by German researchers, which doesn't account for all the people in the world, which there's not enough participants to make this a factual claim. And she also stated that people feel pressured when they are not doing the same thing as other people are doing, which is a fear of missing out. And that the surveys say that people feel insecure after using Pinterest because they aren't creative or crafty. But many people get ideas from Pinterest to get new creative ones. Like me, for example, I used Pinterest once to give me an idea on how to ask a girl to homecoming. Yeah, and here's my responses to her second secondary. It says that academics claims that 1 in 3 people feel worse after visiting the site, that their general dissatisfaction with life has increased, which was not sufficient evidence because the site does not tell us who academics is and what they do, which discredits their credibility. And also, we don't know how many people they surveyed and where the people were from to make this information accurate. And it states that cyberbullying is a growing trend, but it doesn't tie into her main claim that it worsens communication skills and relationships between people. If her claim has stated how cyberbullying affects relationships between people, then it would have been more effective. And according to NoBully.com, their 2014 statistics that they did worldwide show that more kids are aware of cyberbullying and that now less children are expressing feelings of low self-esteem, and bigger percentage of them are expressing the desire to remain survivors and winners in the battle against bullying and cyberbullying. Which means that cyberbullying is now being avoided because kids have watched past experiences and are now learning how to avoid it. Which makes her claim false since the kids are avoiding it, so then it is less likely to happen. And my response to her third claim is that she says that in research, 54% of teenagers uses text, but only 34% of teenagers talked with their friend face to face, which she did not put on the bibliography, which didn't let me know if the statistics was valid or not. A study from Exact Target claims that 27% of Facebook users meet friends in person more, while only 13% meet them less. And looking at Twitter, the results are even more pronounced. 46% meet friends in person more, and 7% meet them less. So social recommendations can quickly turn into real ones too. And that's my claim. Okay. To repeat.
All right, Jason, you followed the argument pretty well. On the first point, you've basically got some presses on the statistic and the study. I don't know that there's really any reason to doubt that 600 people being surveyed is an inadequate amount. If there's a reason to believe that's inadequate, I think you need to develop that argument. You know, I'm not one of these people that's all over all of these social media sites. I've got my thumb in 3 or 4 different ones, but Pinterest is not one of the ones that I know about. But I have heard of Pinterest, so it's just the pronunciation thing that's a little bit awkward there, and I think that hurts your credibility. Although the thing that does help your credibility is that you got some skills from it, you know. And did you get that date, by the way?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So you should have said that, because that would have showed how valuable it was. You said you used it, but I don't think you said that that it worked. So add that part to the argument. The second point, you kind of generally challenge the evidence again, and I think that's a little bit thin. It's okay. I thought your argument about cyberbullying was an interesting point that says new research suggests that people are a little bit more assertive, they're more aware about it now, they're less likely to take themselves as victims. So in essence, it's kind of going in the opposite direction. I think that's the argument that you want to make. Not that what the other person said was false, but that their conclusion is no longer accurate because it doesn't represent up-to-date information. It would be nice if there was some statistic to go along with that, but we don't have anything there. I thought the strongest argument was on the last point, where you were basically talking about how they use these technologies to connect with other people, and it's not the problem that, you know, where the advocate says, well, the 54% of them text and only 34% meet in person. Again, same general press, we don't know something about the source, but your responsive evidence is, I think, really effective, that Facebook users meet their friends more often, and that Twitter users especially meet their friends much more often as a consequence of those things. That directly contradicts the point that the advocate was making. Okay, you need to practice a little bit. You're reading so much, and at the end, I think people hardly know that you're done, even though that you've done, I think, a pretty effective job at offering some counterclaims. Thank you.